Behind the glitz and glamour of American democracy lies a shadowy world where power, manipulation, and disenfranchisement reign. Today, we're diving deep into the dark reality of elections in the USA. While we often celebrate the democratic process, there's a hidden side filled with voter suppression, disinformation campaigns, and the influence of big money. Join us as we uncover the truth behind the ballot box and explore how these forces shape not only our elections, but the future of our democracy. The American electoral process, often hailed as a beacon of democracy, has a shadowy side that is rarely discussed in mainstream discourse. When citizens take pride in their right to vote, numerous underlying issues threaten the integrity of this fundamental process. From voter suppression to gerrymandering, disinformation campaigns, and the overwhelming influence of money, the dark reality of U.S. elections reveals a system fraught with challenges that undermine the very principles of democracy. One of the most insidious aspects of U.S. elections is voter suppression. Despite constitutional guarantees of the right to vote, various tactics are employed to disenfranchise specific populations, particularly marginalized communities. Laws requiring voter ID, purging voter rolls, and limiting early voting and polling places disproportionately affect minority groups. The elderly and low-income individuals, for example, following the 2013 Supreme Court decision in Shelby County v. Holder. Many states quickly enacted laws that made it harder to vote. These laws often targeted areas with high concentrations of minority voters, effectively silencing voices that have historically been underrepresented. Research shows that voter ID laws can reduce turnout by as much as 2 to 3%, a significant number in close elections. The implications are severe. Voter suppression not only skews election outcomes, but also breeds distrust in the democratic process. When individuals feel that their votes do not count or that the system is rigged against them, civic engagement declines, creating a vicious cycle of disenfranchisement. This erosion of trust can lead to long-term consequences, including apathy toward local and national issues, diminished participation in future elections, and a weakened democratic foundation overall. To counteract these harmful effects, it's essential to advocate for policies that protect voting rights and ensure that every citizen has a fair opportunity to participate in the electoral process. Another troubling aspect of U.S. elections is gerrymandering, the manipulation of electoral district boundaries to benefit a particular party. This practice undermines fair representation, allowing politicians to select their voters instead of voters selecting their representatives. Gerrymandering creates safe districts where one party holds a dominant position, leading to diminished competition and accountability. As a result, entire communities can be marginalized, with their voices and concerns often ignored in legislative discussions. For example, in states like North Carolina and Wisconsin, district maps have been drawn in such a way that one party can secure a supermajority even with a minority of votes. The repercussions of gerrymandering are significant. It not only distorts electoral outcomes, but also fuels political polarization. In safe districts, representatives tend to cater to extremes of their party, neglecting bipartisan approaches. This deepens divisions within the electorate and stifles meaningful dialogue across party lines, ultimately weakening the democratic process. As a result, many citizens may feel disillusioned, believing their votes have little impact in a system designed to favor entrenched interests. The rise of social media has fundamentally transformed political communication, ushering in a new era of disinformation. Misinformation campaigns, often orchestrated by both foreign and domestic actors, aim to manipulate public opinion and sow discord. During recent elections, platforms like Facebook and Twitter became breeding grounds for false narratives, conspiracy theories, and divisive rhetoric. Disinformation can significantly impact voter behavior. Studies show that exposure to false information can shape opinions and influence decisions, often leading to voter apathy or misguided choices. For instance, during the 2016 presidential election, false stories about candidates spread widely, distorting public perception. Moreover, disinformation campaigns frequently target specific demographic groups, using sophisticated algorithms to exploit societal divisions. The consequences extend beyond individual elections, posing a long-term threat to the very fabric of democracy. When citizens are inundated with conflicting information, trust in institutions erodes, and civic engagement declines. This erosion of trust can lead to increased polarization, where individuals retreat into echo chambers that reinforce their biases, further alienating them from constructive dialogue. As misinformation continues to proliferate, the challenge becomes not only discerning truth from falsehood, but also rebuilding a collective sense of trust in democratic institutions. Money plays an enormous role in U.S. elections, raising significant concerns about the integrity of the democratic process. The landmark Supreme Court decision in Citizens United v. FEC 2010 eliminated restrictions on independent political spending, allowing corporations and unions to make unlimited contributions to political campaigns. Consequently, the influence of big money has surged, often drowning out the voices of everyday citizens. Political action committees, or PACs, and super PACs have emerged as dominant forces in the electoral landscape, frequently pouring millions into advertising campaigns designed to sway public opinion. Candidates increasingly depend on wealthy donors and special interest groups for campaign funding, resulting in a system where the priorities of a few can easily overshadow the needs of the broader population. This financial imbalance fosters a culture of corruption, as elected officials may feel more accountable to their donors than to their constituents. Such dynamics can lead to policy decisions that prioritize corporate interests over public welfare, perpetuating systemic inequalities in areas like healthcare, education, and environmental protections. Moreover, the prevalence of money in politics not only undermines the principle of equal representation, but also breeds disillusionment among voters. Many citizens become cynical about the political process, believing that their voices are inconsequential in a system dominated by wealth. This disillusionment can contribute to lower voter turnout and decreased civic engagement, as individuals feel increasingly alienated from a political landscape that seems rigged in favor of the affluent. To address these challenges, comprehensive campaign finance reform is essential to restore public trust and ensure that the democratic process truly represents the will of the people. The dark realities of U.S. elections intertwine to create a perfect storm that jeopardizes the foundation of democracy. Voter suppression, gerrymandering, disinformation, and the overwhelming influence of money form a system that often favors power over principles. As these challenges intensify, trust in the electoral process diminishes, leading to voter apathy and disengagement. When people feel the system is rigged or unresponsive, they are less inclined to participate, further undermining democracy. This growing disillusionment can have serious repercussions, resulting in lower voter turnout and a skewed electorate that fails to represent the diverse perspectives and needs of the population. For instance, marginalized communities often bear the brunt of these issues, finding their voices silenced in a political landscape that disregards their concerns. The absence of equitable representation can perpetuate cycles of inequality, as policies enacted do not reflect the realities of those most affected. To safeguard democracy, it's crucial to address these systemic issues and foster a more inclusive and trustworthy electoral process. This can be achieved through comprehensive reforms such as automatic voter registration, independent redistricting to eliminate gerrymandering, and campaign finance regulations that limit the influence of money in politics. Additionally, promoting media literacy can help citizens discern fact from fiction, empowering them to make informed decisions. By prioritizing these reforms, we can create an electoral environment that truly reflects the will of the people, restoring faith in democracy and encouraging robust civic engagement. Only through collective action can we hope to reclaim a system that serves all citizens fairly and equitably. In conclusion, the dark reality of U.S. elections is a multifaceted issue that demands urgent attention. By acknowledging these challenges and working toward meaningful reform, we can protect the integrity of our democracy and ensure that the voice of every citizen is heard. Only then can we hope to restore the trust and engagement necessary for a thriving democratic society. Thanks for watching. If you found this discussion on the dark realities of U.S. elections eye-opening, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Together, let's work towards a brighter future for our democracy.